Hello, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Coach Tiffany Parra, editor in chief of Phoenix Fitness Fanatics magazine, elevating your mind, body, and spirit. Happy Tuesday, everybody. This is our Authors Network. We are going to be talking about the power of sharing your story. So, joining me today is a couple of my amazing contributing writers. Let me go ahead and bring them on in. Hey, hey, what's going on, Teresa? How you doing today?
I'm doing well. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today.
Yes. And we've got Miss Audrey. What's going on,
Hello,
Audrey?
everybody. Oh, ever-
I think she's
she's
frozen.
yeah, her internet's frozen. Give her a minute; she'll be back. That's what happens when you're living in limbo.
Yeah,
You get stuck. The internet ain't so good. Oh, she'll be back.
yeah, she'll be back.
Yeah, no worries. She's probably freaking out and frustrated right now. It's kind of what we were talking about yesterday, right?
Yeah,
The
All right.
changes.
There
There
we
she
go.
is. She's back.
Oh,
she's back.
Oh my goodness. So technology, y'all, today it is a little bit cloudy out here, so I apologize if the internet connection goes a little wonky. This is a new internet connection that we are on in our little tiny home. So I want to welcome the ladies. So please, for those who have never met you before, Teresa, we're going to start with you. Please introduce yourself, tell everyone who you are, and a little bit of what you have done as an author, because you've got, quite a bit going on.
Good day, everyone. I'm Teresa Palmer. I'm a nurse practitioner or advanced practice nurse, as it's sometimes called or often called. And my expertise is holistic cardiology. I've up until 2022, I worked in a traditional cardiology practice in New Jersey where I brought my own holistic approach to cardiology into that practice. So I did that for, oh God, well over 15 years. And I found that it really made a difference with people. It empowered them, it helped them with their not only whatever heart condition they were dealing with, but their overall health, their self esteem, just general life. So that prompted me. I had had a lot of information because I'm also a certified yoga therapist. So when I did that training way back in 2000, we had to write a dissertation. And I wrote a dissertation about yoga and health. And at the time, when I handed it in, the person that was teaching me, my instructor, she said, "Oh, you should write a book. This is very good information. It's holistic. It could benefit a lot of people." Well, I never thought the time was really right. Then in 2020, lo and behold, the time became right because people began to realize that they are in charge of their health and well-being, and that healthcare professionals didn't and don't have all the answers. So that prompted me then, because I had worked through 2020, to write a book for my patients, to empower them with tools to get at, how to not be fearful, because fear is stress and stress does so much harm to the body, that I wrote the book and we used it in the practice. So, in fact, they probably still use it in the practice now that I'm even gone. So, the book is called Heal Your Heart from Within, and it's available. It was published through Balboa Press, which is the sister company to Hay House Penguin. It's available on Amazon, Balboa Press, and Books a Million, and what's the other one? Barnes and Noble. I was also part of the Unleashed anthology in 2024, and that was part of what I did. And then I think it was 2021. I was featured in a publication by the International Association of Top Professionals. It was more or less a coffee table book. It's a pretty big book. And I was featured as one of their 50 fearless leaders. So that is the publishing I have done. Right now, I'm looking to expand on Heal Your Heart from Within and really get into the role of self awareness because heart disease is still the number one uh, cause of death in the United States, if globally, even though you don't want to know how many millions of dollars have been spent on public awareness, public education, and self care, but it's not working. And the reason it's not working is because if you're not self aware, you don't realize how important self care is. So that's going to be my next publication of really working, expanding what I have, and really delving into how we could do better. I call it heart consciousness, which I have been doing in cardiology practice for over 15 years, and um, expanding that to taking heart health to the next level. So that's
Awesome.
my
Very good.
story.
I love it. Thank you so much, Teresa. So, Audrey, please introduce yourself and tell everyone who you are and a little bit about your journey as an author.
So I'm a newer author. I don't have the background that Teresa has. I've dabbled a little bit here and there. So I'm an aromatherapist, ikigai counselor, mentor. I do Ayurvedic practices. I'm in the process of taking some nutritional courses. But I'm a farmer from way back. So I did a lot of nutritional stuff. So I'm really into total natural wellness. And not that I don't veer a little bit all the time, everybody kind of has their vices. Um, but my book experiences kind of started back in the 1999s. Yeah. I was in a magazine called Womanition, and that's just a magazine. Actually, it's quite big in Alberta for sure. So I was in one of those magazines there. So I did that one. And then I was also in sorry, my cat's got her tail in there. Um, the the book called Heal. And it's a compilation book through the organization AIM, which is the Association for Integrative Medicine and Holistic Healing. And so what that does is just helps people out with some, what do you call it, grants to help people heal. And yeah, and then now I'm in the Phoenix Fitness magazine and loving it. So yeah, and looking to do another compilation of Heal because I am the president of AIM. I want to do another compilation book, another Heal compilation book. So
Awesome, awesome. Very good. So, look, there's opportunity right there, y'all. Listen up because these anthologies, I tell you, when you have a group of individuals that are like-minded, that come together and create, these books, it's just absolutely amazing because you have so many different and you have just different energy that goes in it, from each and every individual. So it's so amazing when you can tap into these anthologies. I mean, for myself, I'm working on my fourth and fifth anthologies right now, the unsnapped anthologies that were coming out in March. And just, being a part of, being a visionary of an anthology. I've been in anthologies before. I was in a couple of the Own It anthologies with Marisa, as well. I started out actually, my business coach said, we're all going to write a book and everyone's going to write a chapter. And I said, no, I don't want to do it. I'm not an author. I don't write. And she says, yes, you do. She says, in your profession, you write reports all the time. So I'm sure you can write a story. You just have to share your story. She says, because somebody else needs to hear it. They really do. It's not our story. It's someone needs to have that faith, right? Because they're at that breaking point a lot of times, and they need your knowledge, your wisdom, and your experience. They just need to hear it. So, what are your thoughts on that, Teresa? Just about our stories not really being our stories and how they can really touch, individuals when we do step outside of, our own shell and share our stories and and get vulnerable.
I think what happens is when you're called to write, it's not about you. It's really not. And
Hmm.
unless you're an absolutely famous celebrity that everybody wants to know your life and all the gossip and all the good, the dirt, the bad, everything, nobody nobody wants that. What they want is, if you're doing an anthology or a memoir, a teaching memoir. This is what I went
Hmm.
through. This is, what is the problem? This is the problem I saw. This is how I solved it. And this is how I could help you. So you
Hmm.
don't write for yourself. You never write for yourself. You write to help other people because there's always somebody out there that needs to hear that message, whether it be a teaching memoir, whether it be nonfiction, self help, health and wellness, any of those things. Fiction's a whole different ballgame. But even sometimes in fiction, people write, authors that write fiction sometimes have some truth in it. Like it's something that they
Right.
have gone through, or a fantasy that they've had, um, or any type of dreams or wishes. And they put that
Hmm.
down on paper as
Right.
as a way of expressing it. And still, even though sometimes you're not familiar with the author, those little pieces of what they went through came through. So again, it's not about us. If you're going to write, I would tell any author, number one, it's not about you. Number two, unless you could write Harry Potter, the sequel, you're not really going to make any money. But it does open up for opportunities to be with other like-minded people, through writing. Through my publication at Balboa Press, I got to be one of the founding members of the Hay House writing community, which is now an entrepreneur community. And you're with people that are doing the same craft that you are. You're getting ideas from them. I did have the opportunity to do several speaking engagements. One I know was definitely because I had a book, and the person that had asked me, it was actually a speaking engagement for writers, and the person said, "You wrote a book. Could you come on and tell other people how to write, the craft of writing?" And it was very, very interesting because everybody else were seasoned authors. They had written 5, 10, 15, 20 books. They had gone to school for journalism, for writing. I was in a totally different profession and wrote a book for a totally different reason, but it does open the door for opportunities. So I would encourage everybody to write. There's always a story, there's always a problem, something that you see that needs to be addressed. And then the question is, how do you address that? How does it help others?
That's right. Oh, thank you so much, Teresa. Audrey, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm going to be a bit controversial here and disagree with you
Mhm.
two ladies on that writing is not for yourself. So, journaling, I journal for myself, right? I journal so I can get my thoughts out of my head and onto a paper so it doesn't clutter up in here, So for me, a lot of times writing is for me and to get the thoughts out of my head, right?
Yeah.
Um, this book, actually, the Heal book, I wrote that when I had a infection. I Yeah, this was 2019. Actually, this is when I wrote it. Yeah, that's when I wrote this one. And I was struggling with just thinking. So even getting this little chapter out, like, I mean, they're saying 3,000 words, and I'm like, oh my God. But I had to do it. I had to get the story out of me, So even that, I didn't do it for anybody else. I just had to get the story out. And for me, writing is if somebody else benefits from it and gets something out
Mm-hmm.
of my story, I'm just going to tell my story because I need to get it out of me. And
Yeah.
the healing that went through writing this little chapter was amazing. It was just amazing for myself just to get it out. And now journaling, right? It's just sitting down and writing my thoughts out every morning. And you look at Anne Frank, right? What does she do? She just journaled, and now she's got this famous book, right? Some people just write their
Mm-hmm.
thoughts down, and all of a sudden they're just this famous book. So yeah, that for me is what it is. It's all writings for me. Writings to
Yeah.
get it out of my head. And yeah. So
Yeah.
sorry ladies, a little
No, I
controversial
could
there, but
I could definitely see both sides of it for sure, Audrey. I mean, especially the journaling piece, because I think for me, like when I write my stories, I'm writing my stories for other people. And yes, I'm sharing my story, and that is a healing process. When you're sharing a story, when I say it's not for me, it is for me too, because I do have to get it out, and that is going to be so liberating. And just, I mean, when you
yeah.
have a story that's in you, especially when it's a traumatic story, it's heavy and it
Yeah.
weighs on you. And sometimes it festers inside you. And then you're wondering why maybe you're sick, or, you just have low energy. Well, it's because you have to get that out. So I completely see the side in that, because it is getting it out. But once you're getting that out, you're getting that out because, like for me, I'm getting it out because I know that there's someone else out there that's struggling with the same thing, or
Mhm.
something even worse. Maybe it started the way I, was, what my situation was, or maybe I'm a lot further deep in it, but I got out of it. So that's when I say that it's for other people. I have to
Mhm.
release it myself so it can get out there for other people to also be able to release. And watching the women that I've worked with, I mean, there's 45 women that have shared their stories in the Becoming a Girl Powerhouse anthologies, and each and every one of them went through a healing process, some of them more than others, but I watched some of them transform. I mean, there were some that had no faith in their ability, but once they actually wrote their story and heard others that read their story say, "Oh my gosh, that touched me." That it was almost like it gave them that superhero cape to go out in the world and to just do what they want to do. I mean, we've got women that have opened up businesses and done all these different things because they stepped into their power and purpose through sharing their stories. So that's really, I think, what it's all about, is just really, being able to, like you said, heal, and be able to release those stories out there for others to be able to heal as well.
And we
So,
all
and
write
the
for different
opportunity,
reasons. We all write for different
yes,
reasons,
absolutely.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I see is
ab-
everybody writes for a different reason.
Yeah. And then you've got a lot of opportunity, like Teresa was mentioning, a lot of the different opportunities that open up for you as well. Being able to meet people in these groups, of like-minded individuals that can become, lifelong friends. I mean, there's a lot of individuals that I've connected with, that I've, wrote books with in different anthologies. And we may talk, some of us talk daily, some of us might talk once a month, but I they all have such a special part in my heart. And it helps you to also get into other networks. When you're in anthologies and things like that, if I'm going to be, if I'm in the anthology, I'm sharing with my network. You're in the anthology, you're sharing it with your network. We're all able to organically share one another's gifts, talents, and abilities by just sharing in our networks. And that's the brilliance, I think, behind anthologies, is being able to, just be seen in so many more spaces. I know speaking engagements definitely do open up for you when do share your books. And Teresa, you're absolutely right. You're not going to get rich unless you're writing something like Harry
Right.
Potter or something like that. These are really to help people and to also help you to release the things that you need to release. So, so you can move on in the world. So what about some other things that have opened up for you ladies? Are there any other opportunities that you want to share that kind of opened up for you in, just sharing your story and actually writing a book? Teresa?
One thing I'll share, I'll start off with this is a caution because when you write and you publish, whether you self-publish or you publish through a traditional publishing house, once your book gets out there, there's a lot of people that don't have your best interest at heart. And by
That's
that, I
true.
mean, I'm not going to use the word scam because it's a legitimate thing. It's not
Mhm.
that something doesn't exist, but I can't tell you how many times I've been contacted either through LinkedIn, through email, through different organizations. They get an email list, and I've been contacted. Oh, we'd love to feature you on the cover of this magazine. Oh, we'd like to do a feature article on this. Oh, I had one place that said that they wanted to get my book in front of another publisher, and it was a very well-known publisher. The catch was this person was a marketer. They weren't a literary agent because a literary agent never charges you. They take a percentage of your royalties once you're accepted by a publisher. And they wanted a digital copy of my book for the, and
Oh,
why would I do that? Yeah, I said, my book's out there.
right.
You could read it. Oh, no, because our editors have to do X, Y, and Z. Well, that's an example of a scam. Some of the others were. Was it legal? Yes, because he didn't tell me outright I'm a literary agent. All he told me was I could get your book in front of this publisher. Okay.
Hmm.
It's legal, but it's not ethical. The same thing with
Right.
book covers. Some places charge a lot of money to get you on a magazine cover. The point is, unless it reaches your audience, it doesn't mean anything. I once had somebody contact me. They wanted to put me, I forget the name of the airline, but they said, "Oh, you'd be perfect for the cover of this and that." Well, that's fine, but all these business people are not going to be my clients, and it was over $1,000. So where would I be going with that? I know other people that jumped at the opportunity. They're like, oh, going to be known all over the world. Well, no, you're really not going to be known all over the world because you have to be in front of the right audience. And that's where
Right.
these other networking and these other groups come in. So, yes, it does open up opportunities, but I think with so many people now being able to do things on their own, it's becoming a whole different world where you could you could publish on your own, you could do anything on your own. I think there's a lot of caution with that when we step into these things, have we really looked at it as what it really means? Is it really not only legitimate, but is it ethical? And where does it take you? Where is that taking
Hmm.
you? The same thing with an award. Just because you get an award doesn't mean that it's going to help you in any way. Sometimes the only person benefiting is the one you gave the money to get the award. So I would caution people with that. And it may not be something that people want to hear, but I think it's so important because I see it happening so much. And I've been caught in things when I was a little bit more naive,
Hmm.
but now I'm wise to a lot of things, and I really
Yeah.
use a lot of discretion with everything. So the opportunities are out there, the opportunity for networking. Yes, you may get some speaking opportunities, but really look at what's being offered to you. And if
Right.
you want to do it, I would say to some people, I know somebody that has a lot of disposable income, and I think she's been on the cover of every digital magazine out in the world. She's been in everything, gotten every award, but she could do it. She does it for her, and
Hmm.
that's fine. So that's what I have to say. I hope that I'm not offending anybody by saying that, but I think it has to get out there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it does too, and I'm glad that you brought that up because there is a lot of scams that go on out there, and I was very naive at when I first started as well, and got caught up in a few things too. So I can definitely understand that, and I'm thankful that you said that. So everyone, just do your research. We definitely have a lot of resources on our platform with Own It magazine and publishing. There's a lot of books that have been published on our platform in this last couple of years. I mean, it's amazing. So if you want to tap into a reliable and very credible resource, definitely reach out to myself or Marisa, or any part of anyone that is part of our community, because we can definitely help in that way. So we don't want anybody to get scammed out there. So Audrey, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, like I said, being a newer into this whole world of writing, that's great advice. Like that's why I connected with Tiffany, because she's authentic, and if I ask her a question, I know she'll give me a good, authentic answer and won't steer me wrong, because like Teresa said, there's the scammers out there who just want your money,
Right.
and so I wanted to get into a group where I was going to get some good advice on where to, and if I had questions, I could ask the questions and get that there, the answers. So that's kind of one of the opportunities, right? Is to find somebody that is credible and you can hook onto and hang on to and write those books with and stuff like that. Opportunities for myself are writing my own, right? Like, I mean, writing my articles, but also starting a podcast. It gives me the energy and like Tiffany was saying, other people started their own business, so I'm going to start my own, podcast, and being kind of controversial if you want to be, it gives you that kick that, other people are kind of, yeah, you can do it kind of thing. So it's finding that community for sure. That's the
Yeah,
opportunities for me. Yeah.
absolutely. The community is everything. It really is. So let's talk about what you got going on in the future here. I know, Teresa, you touched a little bit on, your second Heal Your Heart Within that is going to be coming out. So what else is going to be coming out here in the future? And then also share with everyone how they can connect with you if they want to work with you, they want to learn more about you, all that good stuff.
Okay, I have been thinking about a podcast. I would like something interactive where people could call in, where it could be a
Mm,
conversation, because I always enjoy the conversation. I enjoy that aspect. And it would probably be me. I may have a couple of guests on, but it would be me more interacting with people, answering some generalized questions about health and the heart, because even though I am a nurse practitioner, I would be doing it more from the consulting. You have your own provider who's giving you your regimen. These are some things that you could do that are non invasive, non prescriptive, things that you could do to help yourself, or maybe a change with an attitude, a perception, a belief, something like that. So I would like to do a podcast where I could talk to people about that, have them call in about things and, work with them. Also, working with people one to one. Um, I've been getting some clients, but some of them want my cardiology expertise. And that's not really what I do. I mean, I could talk to them about heart failure, having a heart attack, but I can't get into prescriptions because I'm not in a practice and I'm not with nurse practitioners, need a collaborating doctor to back them up. So that's one of the little glitches I've been running into. I've had a lot of people contact me through my website, www.wellbeinggal, all one word.com. And they're asking me for medical advice, which then I politely give them breath work, or I give them things to do like meditation, how to settle their mind, how to work with stress. And some of them thank me, and some of them say, but I really need a new prescription for this. You didn't help me. So those are some of the things I'm doing. I'm looking to do the second book, which again would be about heart consciousness, a more elaborate thing than Heal Your Heart from Within, and maybe doing an online program where people have different modules where people could either take part of it, the whole thing. I would call it heart consciousness. The three aspects are, what are the three aspects? Breathe, be still, and connect. So that all has to do with physical, emotional, and spiritual. And I could do the course and have the three modules, and you could either do all three. So we'll see where that goes. And basically, I like writing for the both magazines. I'm both Phoenix Fitness Magazine and Own It Magazine. So I really enjoyed that because I think it reaches a lot of people. I think it gives people what they need, and sometimes that they don't know what they need. Very interesting articles written from all different perspectives, all different professions, different walks of life. So those are the things. I could also be found on Facebook and Instagram, well_being_gal. And I'm working on a YouTube channel.
Very good. Awesome, awesome. Good stuff, Teresa. Thank you. All right, Audrey, what about you? What good stuff you got coming up, and how can they connect with you as well?
All right. So I am going to get the Heal book. So it's going to be starting probably in the next couple of months. So I'm looking for some authors for that. So if you want to get in there, it is Heal, You Have the Power. And these are powerful stories for healing, providing hope and inspiration. So that's kind of what that's going to be. So if that's something that resonates with you, connect with me. Best way is WhatsApp, 780-202-0649. I do have an email address at empoweredlivingacademy@gmail.com. So that's one of those. The other one is I am going to start my podcast as well, looking for guests. I would have a trouble doing the phone thing. So that would confuse the heck out of me. So it would be interacting with guests and stuff like that, having, and my podcast, I want it to be Messy Me. So Messy Me, I am, you're in an issue. That's what it is. Let's discuss it and let's find some solutions. Right. So yeah, I found a really cool song. She I can't remember her name. Lily is her name, but it is called Messy, the song. So if you want to go look at that, that's kind of an interesting song. But yeah, just messy me, living life the way, one mess at a time.
I love
kind of thing. Well, moving's a mess, right, Tiffany?
It is. It sure is.
It's just, right? Writing a book is kind of messy. So that's my podcast. And so just kind of, I'm also, I am an aromatherapist, so I do aromatherapy. I do have clients that I've helped all the way from broken bones to kidney stones. So yeah. So that's kind of me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Audrey. Well, everyone, I just want to thank you all for joining us today for our Authors Network Spotlight. I hope you got a lot of valuable information, knowledge, and wisdom from us this morning. Just if you're ready to write a book, get out there and write it. Write your story, share it, heal, do what you got to do, because guess what? When you write it, you get it out there. again, you're going to feel so light and you're just going to feel so empowered. So, ladies, I want to thank you for joining me this morning. And thank you so much for being a part of the Phoenix Fitness Fanatics family, as well as the Own It Publishing family. I love you guys and have an amazing day. We'll see y'all next time. Have a great day, everybody. Take care.